I actually oops. I actually supposed to start live at 11 o'clock. Wouldn't that actually been very embarrassing if I was just sitting there, just relaxing, doing nothing? I'm actually gonna test and see if the one kicks in first, see if I'm actually on the right one, because it was scheduled. It looks like it looks like that's the same one. I just don't wanna be embarrassed if I start talking and doof, another stream kicks on. Wouldn't that be just shocking? Do. So actually, why I'm actually just here by myself, you know, collecting my thoughts. Let's actually just check on YouTube. It's actually the right one. I could probably do it on my PC, but I don't want to click not enough. No, not one's came on that I'm live. Nothing came on at 11 o'clock. It just auto played, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm happy just to speak to myself before I actually see someone in chat. Let me just actually schedule. Like, it says there in the top corner that it's the right effects. Yeah, it just started 1 minute a bit earlier. Hmm. I don't know why it didn't come on to. Don't know why it didn't come onto the show. I can't see it on notifications. Why can't I see it on notifications? Let's just check. Because if I can remember that's the Rock Players intro, and I was just wondering if it was the right thing set up. No, it's saying I'm live, but I wonder why I never got the notification. I can actually see. Phoenix says, there you go. So sorry if I've got actually just some technical issues. Let's just actually just test. Let's go to chat. There you go. I can actually see evening off Case Ball. You know, it's always a pleasure to say hi to Case Ball. And I actually see Mrs. Phoenix. So, hey, we're actually live. Sorry about that technical issues. The timer kicked off a minute earlier, and I was like, oops, have I actually kicked in another preset show? I didn't want that. Wouldn't that be embarrassing if I'm talking and good old Rock is actually talking and there's just too many shows going at once? Because I actually, Rock said to me, did I want an intro and an outro? And I was like, nah, that's all right. I'll just go straight in. I'll just go straight in and say hi to people because I'm not really a fan of intros. So I just laughed. Yeah, 11 p.m. I know it's a bit late, but what I actually said to Rock is, if everyone would actually do a show, it's going to be at a time where I feel like there's actually a big engagement. So the idea is the Americans could be 5 to 8 hours behind. We're sort of in the UK time, we're settling down in bed, and sort of the Eastern world will sort of be getting out of bed just in case we wanted to actually talk to the world. So I thought to myself, this is a perfect time. And because like there's like Cowboy King content he's on previously, and then it leads into Purple Haze's show at 1 a.m. I thought this is a great time just to connect with people and just talk about everything about gaming, should gaming and tech and movies, just as a chill stream. And yeah, so Miss Phoenix said that, and Vet, mountain gaming. He's a great personality to actually watch. So it was just one of them things where 11 o'clock just made sense to relax and chill, and we'll see actually how this show actually evolves. Maybe I'll actually include guests to talk about, but at the moment it's just actually going into the new year, start of the new year, and actually seeing what everyone's been up to. So, chat, has any of you actually broke or stuck to your New Year's resolution in the idea in the gaming mindset? I know we're all sitting there saying in the fitness mindset, or we give up bad habits. Some of us fail, but in the gaming sense, has anyone made anything that you wanted to do? Me, in the New Year's resolution, I've actually said to myself to pick a select amount of games to actually play and actually finish them, and stop actually rushing out to actually try and jump the new hype on the new hype train. So I feel that's a very responsible one. I mean, I've got my list already set up, but we'll see if I actually fall short. There was a question I asked last week, and I actually asked, I said, was there any TV or movie adaptations you want to actually go to games? And I totally forgot. My mind went blank, which was very rude to me because I asked the question. And it was only the other day that I actually seen it, and I actually seen Stargate Timekeepers. And I thought to myself, oh my God, it's coming out this year. That is one game that I should have said from a TV adaptation and a movie that I actually wanted to see in a game because I was a big, huge Star Trek fan, and I love not Star Trek, Stargate. I always get confused every time I say Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate. Just some words fall out the tongue faster than others. And I actually thought to myself, oh my God, this is a game that I actually want to try because I love sitting back and playing RTS in the world of Stargate. And I don't know what era of Stargate it will be. Will it be Stargate SG1, Atlantis, Universe? I would want it all if they could do uh, expansions because I felt like in Stargate it evolved over time, and then you brought new alien technology in, and it just kept on evolving the human technology. Or do we just set the 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 landscape on the idea of Stargate Movie One, and we have the humans with just our basic weaponry, which seemed to be effective. Do you know what, Case Paul? I actually look at the Stargate CGI graphics, and I still think to myself, especially in the TV show, they look absolutely amazing. How come I can watch games and trailers and think to myself, that looks actually crap compared to the graphics at a certain time? Or maybe we were just, you know, easily impressed by the CGI back then. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just don't want to pick on the graphics because it's so such nostalgia. And another movie that I actually thought that I would want adapted in the game, and I played it on the NES or the NES. There was actually a show on Purple Aces. She was interviewing. She never heard the word NES before, and I was like, "That's a UK thing. We used to call it a NES and a SNES, but they used to call it the SENS and SNES." But right, I go off. There was a movie called Beetlejuice, and there was a Nintendo game of Beetlejuice that I used to really love. And I thought to myself, once I actually heard that Beetlejuice 2 was coming out this year, I thought to myself, wouldn't that be great to have a Beetlejuice top down game? Not too flashy, just going back to retro, but in the story of Beetlejuice 2. So from last week, the two games I would love to see from adaptations was Star Trek, Stargate, I just done it again, and Beetlejuice. Because we were talking about movies, and we were talking about movies last week, and as we were talking about Avatar, I also thought to myself, well, Avatar's an open world, sort of set in Pandora with Navi, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if we could sort of have like the Planet of the Apes? And my mind was keep on saying, you don't see that these days, do you, where movie adaptations actually come into gaming? So I thought to myself, that'll be amazing to play as a human running away from big giant apes, just like they wouldn't be too far fetched from Avatar. Yeah, I agree, Miss Phoenix. The SG1 cast was so likable. To Vet Cloud Gaming's in the house. Good evening, Vet. Oh, you got your name back? Usually I'm so used to Mountain Gaming. We have Caseball Super Famicom. Ah, yeah, let's see how that works. See how it works. I think we had another one, didn't we, Caseball, in the UK where I think it was like Genesis versus the Mega Drive. I think we had the Mega Drive and Sega, and I think over the pond they had the Saturn and the Mega Drive. Or do we have the opposite way? I can't remember which one. Vet says I'm light as a feather. Yeah, Miss Phoenix. I think this is a move that I actually want to really hope it doesn't fall to the problem of nostalgia. Because sometimes we love these franchises because it goes back to our happier times in life, and it sort of molded us in who we were in media or games. And then we get older, our tastes evolve, and then we actually watch it back. We don't hit the same jokes, don't sink in, or the same type of character of Beetlejuice. We just don't find them funny. So I just really hope that I can sort of look back at my childhood and still be happy with what Beetlejuice 1 is and what Beetlejuice 2 is. in today's society. And in the end, it doesn't have to be for me. It could be for a new audience where I can get the references from the late 80s, and the new audience sort of gets the idea that Beetlejuice is in the world with mobile phones. And um, imagine like Beetlejuice, they try and run away from him, and there he is on a tablet. He's just appearing on all these screens doing, I don't know, a meme, a joke, a song and dance. I think that'd be actually quite clever, but I hope it actually lives up to the expectation, because I don't like it when there's been so much of a gap in between movies, and I felt like that's the same with Avatar. I feel Avatar 1 was so amazing, then by the time The Way of Water came out, I think it was too late. I think the hype over it just moved. Not saying it wasn't a bad movie, and the game looks interesting. I just thought the hype that interested me in the world of Pandora and Avatar, I just moved on to something else by that time. So I feel like Beetlejuice, movie wise, I hope it actually sticks. I'd just say so. Case Ball says Dreamcast. Love Dreamcast. Rudig says, Hey Holt. Hey Rudigs. I've actually been seeing some of your pictures. I've been secretly lurking, seeing your Spider-Man pictures. And you mentioned it in the Discord as well. I can't play games with photo mode because I'm actually terrible at it. Because I'm one of them gamers that I'm playing stuff and I'm hitting the photo or the screenshot button by accident. And I always think, why is the game froze? And then I realize I'm in photo mode and I go, oh my God, I wish this mode didn't exist. But I'm really glad that you've got the artistic eye to play a game and enjoy these modes. I just love seeing the visuals. I don't need to zoom in or anything like that to enjoy a game. Anyone else in chat? Anyone else like photo mode? I mean, I've seen stuff in the past where I've seen some funny photos of games, and I don't think that's the way the games developers actually expect us to use the camera, but there's just been some funny things, and I think that's the world of the meme these days. So Miss Phoenix said, "Yeah, agree, Holt. I usually wait for feedback and stick first. That, that's what I like to do. I can pretend that I do love listening to feedback, but there's sometimes that I just can't wait, and I have to rush out. And then sometimes it's usually people that ask me, "How was it?" And I go, "Oh, I wish I didn't waste my money," or "I wish I just sat a little bit." So sometimes I've got a little compulsive attitude in me to actually just run out and actually beat the reviews. And I think what it is because I'm sick and tired of spoilers on social media. The social fear ruining stuff for me. So I feel like if I just went myself, no matter if it's big or not, I can sort of enjoy it. I don't know if any of you in chat are actually scared of spoilers, but I actually hate them. I absolutely hate them. There's a game that's coming out, The Last of Us Part 2, the remake. And I remember back when the first one came out, I just actually had to go totally silent because I was sick and tired of hearing people go, "Oh, don't go on the internet, Holtz. They've broke the story, they've leaked all the videos," and I just couldn't handle it. So when I've got loads of hype behind me, I just literally go silent, and I prefer it that way. And then I've got like this fear behind me where I think to myself, "Am I missing out? Should I just have a little quick peek?" I won't ruin it for me, and I know just one little instant will actually ruin the whole thing for me. Do you know what, Case Paul? That is a perfect example. Lost Boys. One, absolutely epic. I totally agree. Second one, ruined it. And in the gaming and the movie space, do you think that after you go past a certain amount of movies, it dilutes the franchises, especially in trilogies? Like if we talk about like, I don't know, Back to the Future 1, then 2, then 3, do you think it steals away from the magic of what the franchise was? Or do you think it expands it? Like there's some people out there that prefer Godfather trilogy, they prefer the later Godfather movies than the first one. I don't know how you can see it. I always think the original one is always the best, and then it sort of dilutes going forward. Adding a little bit more, but I feel like sometimes I could live without the sequels. And that's where I'm worried in gaming and movies these days, that I feel like a lot of companies, especially Disney, do cash grabs. And I feel like they just want to run a franchise into the ground. I don't think fans are asking for it, and they go, "I know, wouldn't it be amazing if we all just bought this and then put our agendas and politics and all that on top of it," and they just destroy it. So that's why I try and avoid everything. But I know in my mind, like I just said, just a little sneaky peek. But that's the problem. Miss Phoenix says Alien, amazing. Alien 2, absolute epic. Alien 3, meh. Yeah, no, it just went downhill. The more aliens they added to the franchise, the worse it was getting, wasn't it? Wasn't Aliens 3 the one where Ripley was in sort of like a space prison, like sort of like where they were like welding all metal and stuff like that? And she just been resuscitated and she's like, and then like with all these like outlaws and stuff like that, bad people. Case Ball, do you actually like director's cuts in movies? Do you feel like that you put the extra time in for the love of seeing the extra content? To me, if it's being cut out of a movie, then I'm not interested. To me, I can sit down and watch it extra footage, but it's very rarely that I actually go to games or movies that actually have a director's cut or a extra mode, should I say. Yeah, I know exactly which one you want. At a certain time, it all blends in the back of my mind. I actually think for a second, go, which one was Aliens 3? Wasn't there Aliens one after? No, it wasn't. That was Aliens 3 with at the end, the little hole in the space shuttle sucks out and it goes, Mommy! I think that's Aliens 3. Now, Aliens 3, spoilers ahead, doesn't the Xenomorph fall in like metal, like flaming metal? I mean, I'm scared. Aliens is a great horror. Aliens is a great horror movie. I'm just scared of aliens. I don't like the look of xenomorphs. Anything that's got like extra tentacles and eyes just freaks me out. Vampires, like in Lost Boys, don't scare me. They just look like a bunch of punks. I'd be even though like the sort of apex predators, the higher in the food chain than humans. I'm not really scared of vampires. If I play a game with vampires, zombies, or other creatures as the dead or the night, I don't mind killing them. They don't freak me out one bit. Like I said last week, you put a xenomorph in front of me, I'm freaked out. Just don't like it. The way they can actually be very predatory and sneaky, and they just look totally aesthetically from humans. Hey Sanchez, hope your New Year's being great. I'm great. There was a bit of technical issues at the start, but not on too much. I was actually just randomly talking about movies and games, how like spoilers or stuff like that ruins it. But starting off the what I actually had in mind, CES is coming on the 8th of January, and I'm a big, huge tech guy. So I'm looking forward to this event to actually see what happens because to me, this is the future. This is the future of tech. At the moment, I don't need all these tellies and I don't need these GPUs, CPUs, and smart devices and that. But I like the idea where the industry is evolving to. So I always tune in to actually see what like Nvidia and AMD and stuff like that, what chipsets and stuff like that that are using in all these devices going forward. And then I like the idea to see what other um, businesses follow suit to support this technology. So I'm looking forward in CS to see what GeForce Now is doing. So I want Nvidia to actually bring out chipsets and see are they working with TV manufacturers and bringing smart features. And then I want to see if GeForce Now will actually bring the possibility of VR cloud because I think that's the next big hype thing that I would really be interested to in the cloud gaming space to see who is actually going to bring VR cloud to, I don't know, a headset, the Oculus Quest 3. I think it's called Oculus these days. But I think to myself, wouldn't that be amazing to see? And then the idea, I like to see where technology displays are coming from. the idea of 4K to 8K, or are we going to get in between resolution? Like we used to have like 1080 to 1440p to 4K. Are we going to get a middle ground in between 4K and 8K, but with AI upscaling? Are we going to get like 12-bit panels of color? Are we going to get a new HDR standard? All this stuff really interests me. I don't know if anyone in chat actually likes CES. CK Spall, that's it. Big rumors on Nvidia Nintendo link up. Whoever works with Nintendo is just going to be amazing in my eyes, because I think Nintendo understand their user base, and they make a lot of money from it. And I feel like if they work with other people, they can sort of use the cloud to bring more diversity of gamers that want the powerhouse. And I think that'll be amazing. And I think we'll get a little teaser of that, say like AMD, when they talk about the idea of, are they going to put this new chipset in the Switch too? Possibly, is it going to be a handheld? It'll tell little tips or hints, should I say, little hints that will tell us how then or where the next set of technology is going to come from. So I was actually reading chat, but so I'm really excited to see not just Nintendo, where the handheld space is going. So I think usually it's AMD that usually does the chipsets for handhelds. I would love to see, are we going to have another competitor towards the Steam Deck? I don't want another competitor, because I think we're already hitting saturation with the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, the Legion Go, and we've got all of them Chinese manufacturers. But part of me is like, can someone do something different? Can someone market something in CS that brings something new that we actually need now, not in a few years, from the idea from other companies? So Miss Phoenix, here's one for you. Do you actually want Nintendo to offer a Switch format, a Switch portable device in that form factor, same form factor, same screen, removable Joy Cons, but just more powerful? Or would you like Nintendo to keep uh, innovating and create something totally new that's not like the Switch? It's not that I've not seen before. Or would you like them to get back in the rat race of just having a sort of small form factor device like a PlayStation 5 or a Series X, and bring in the powerhouse? Because I feel like what Nintendo is doing great is keeping the cost of entry low, and they know how to optimize their games, and then they've got such amazing IP that I feel like that they can't lose if they keep that going. And then the idea of working with cloud to bring extras to their device would actually make them loads of money. So it's not like that. That was a. So Miss Phoenix says, I'm all about the portable. The only reason, yeah, that's it. Totally agree. I think the portable form factor, especially the hybrid approach, that's what I want. I want the idea where I've got a solid base unit somewhere. I drop the handheld in. I've got it on my TV. It does some upscaling. Take it out. I've got a device with a long battery that lets me move around on my travels. That's all I want. When I mean travels, I don't mean going outside the house. I don't take my Switch out the house. I just mean moving to a different room. Does anyone take their Switch or handhelds out to a different place? Because I know the advertisements of the Switch, they're like, you can do it in a park and you can do it in a library and you can go around your friends. I'm like, nope, I'm not taking my equipment out in case I break it. Reva says, how are you this evening, Holt? Well, I'm great. A bit sore sitting in the seat. I've elevated the seat. I was speaking to Rock and we were just showing our little studios off. And I moved from having the side camera because I was going to put the green screen behind so I can look forward. It's still not working because I'm still glancing at the chat, but I've elevated the seat and it's just so uncomfortable. Does anyone else feel the same sort of fatigue when they actually sit down and game or they're on a PC? Me, I'm usually just sitting on a couch, feet up on the bed with a handheld. I feel more comfortable, relaxed like that. I just don't really do this sort of chair sitting down. I've invested in all like these ergonomic arms and stuff like that to elevate my monitors and my stuff. So I usually stand up. I think that's because I'm getting older and people say, "Oh, you need to move around more." I'm like, okay, because I come from a computer background, I'm always on a chair and a desk. So I thought, no, I don't want that in my gaming space. Anyway, just hope you're well. Twisted Barber. I think China and India will start bringing new tech for the industry. I think they like to keep it Pacific, don't they? India and China, especially China. I've seen, was it Linus Tech Tips, and he brought this big, huge 100 plus TV, and he said he smuggled it from China. So that makes me think that they don't want to export these big items. They just want to have a handful of people that will buy it with probably cheap parts and skip red tape and then just sell it like that. I don't think these exports will actually go well in sort of American Western market. I feel like we focus on what we already know. Hopefully, hopefully. I don't know how innovative uh, India is in like the gaming and tech space. I know when I actually think of tech, I always think like LG, Samsung, which is Korea, Sony, which is Japanese, and stuff like that. That's what brings to my mind. Miss Phoenix says, I go to a lot of Airbnbs, so it's so simple to play. Do you ever connect it up to the telly or just stick it on handheld? I know my niece and nephew, they are 7 and 10, and they like playing it in not dock mode, what's it called? When you had the stands, you move the stand at the back and they pull the Joy Cons off and they actually have it in the left and right hand. And sometimes they actually have it in the grip format, but they like playing it in the left and right and they have the kickstand. And I asked them the question, would they want a device like a PlayStation? And they said no. They only know that handheld factor. So I'm wondering if Nintendo will factor that in. Don't chase us from the the GameCube day, the NES, SNES, 64, and just chase that nostalgia of the handheld factor. So the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, the Switch. Hey, Pear Plays says, "Let's go." Great to see you. I felt lost. I felt lost last week. I was sitting there tuning in the new year, and I was saying bye to all these great people in chat. I was like, "Oh yeah, and don't forget to June trailers." And you know, it's New Year. Everyone was kicking their feet off, and I was just sitting there at 1 o'clock going, because I'm so used to relaxing at a certain time, like tuning into my favorite streamers. So definitely up. Happy 2024. So Case Bull says India have a massive cloud gaming platform that's going to launch in Europe this year. When we started the cloud talking points and stuff like that, I always thought India would have moved with us a lot faster than it did. So to see that they've got their own infrastructure, as long as I can get low latency, then I'll actually jump on board and test it. I'll actually enjoy it, but it's got to be very competitive now to GeForce Now. And is there a lot of people that would like to invest at that level of GeForce Now these days? I know I believe like the idea of Luna and I believe the idea of Stadia, but I think like GeForce Now is just hitting it out the park with their partnerships and their technology. That I'm wondering who could actually bring it. And I was talking about Tencent. Like, could Tencent do it? Could they work together and bring something to the West? Because to me, I don't care where it comes from, as long as I've got a great experience. And I feel like I want a hybrid approach going forward with my handhelds. I want handhelds with enough storage, enough power to run high definition games that are well optimized with a great user interface, and then the option to actually have a native app on there to run cloud. So I don't mind if it's got a 5G antenna built in it, or I add the 5G, or it's just has Wi-Fi capabilities. I don't mind. would love to see a back case ball. Uh, I never wanted to jump back into the console rat race. Never, because when I seen Stadia with the 4K HDR, it just worked, and that's what I really liked about it. And I'm really enjoying other services since, but I know I always go back to the idea is I had it 3 years ago. I was so excited, and now, yeah, I had to move on to something else. And I remember once I was on a podcast with CGX, and I said, I didn't want to be that gamer that from 10 years from now, I've stepped away from gaming. Cloud's really evolved, and I'm like that guy. I remember playing on live. I remember playing PS Now. I remember playing Stadia, and you've ruined it because some people couldn't jump on board, and now I'm that old guy. Like, I'm not doing it. Good to see you, ER Gaming. Welcome in. We're just randomly talking. So, have any of you actually got any equipment that actually natively runs these services? Just like, has anyone got any smart TVs that runs like GeForce Now, Luna, Shadow? Because I'm wondering, like, is it a big thing to push forward in the next CES 2023? I would love to see it. I would love to see these services pushing a more better HDR, refresh rate, resolution, aspect ratio with their partnership TVs again. I know I'll fall for it again, but I'm wondering, are yous happy to see this? Or do you think we're just going to get like just the manufacturer talking about their TVs without pushing the idea of gaming? Yeah, case ball. Me, when I actually see CS, I love the idea of LG. I'm a big, huge LG OLED supporter, and I love like seeing like their wallpaper thin TV or the foldable technology. I know I'll never buy one, but I just like seeing it. I love seeing the gimmick behind it. But I am definitely a LG TV user. So when I actually saw cloud services come to the telly, I was like, yes, I've got that model. Luckily, I've got that model. And with Stadia, it was good. And Cloud was okay, looked a bit washed out. GeForce Now, without actually having HDR support on a lot of games, I can't justify it. So I always default back to the idea of using the NVIDIA Shield to actually do like the sort of 4K upscaling. I would never turn a PC on just to play cloud unless I had a small form factor PC, like the little nooks, those very small ones that you fanless. So So with the LG, so Caseball says he has got a C3. What size do you have? You don't have to say. I do actually love that you got the latest model. There'll be probably be announcements from LG of the new range this year. I can't see it being too evolved past the idea of a C3. I can just see it's just working more with AI, which moves back to my next point. I think this CS they actually are going to focus. You're going to hear that word a lot. AI upscaling, AI rendering, AI smart services, AI integrated technology. And if you buy these AI headphones in conjunction with this, you're just going to hear that word quite a lot. And AI recommendations and suggestions, and it's going to be fully integrated where when you ask a question, it's just going to bring up like your YouTube feeds and your Facebook, and it's going to be so slimline, and you can easily jump in between games and TV services without being affected with thanks to how AI can recommend your mood or sounds or I don't know. You do something like that. Twisted Barber says LG is pushing GeForce Now, but it's the LG WebOS which is the issue. Yeah, I can see that. But for the last 2, 3 years, I've been applauding LG, and I feel like it has. They should have just kept it quiet. They should have just kept it quiet until it came to full fruition. Caseball says, Hoults, what percentage do you use cloud to play games? These, see, what I've learned now, right, is I'm playing GeForce now. Even though I got the ultimate tier, I'm not using the ultimate resolution, or the aspect ratio, because my monitors or TV don't support it. So I've got a C3 and I've got a G3, and the it just looks washed out. So to me, with I will not play top end games without HDR, but I will play cloud services if it's like a game like Persona 5, Disgaea, South Park, or other games where it doesn't benefit having HDR. So cloud to me is getting less and less because the bigger games that I'm playing have they look amazing HDR. So if I'm talking about like Forza Horizon, or I'm talking about Assassin's Creed, or I'm talking about Cyberpunk, all these games I wouldn't touch without HDR. So at the moment, I am putting about 20-ish% in cloud, about 50% in handheld, and then now, and then the rest in console space. Because I feel like I'm getting spoiled now in the handheld, where I feel like I'm that type of gamer now where portability and form factor is what's driving me to play games. What about yourself, Case Ball? What percentage do you think you're playing cloud games? And I feel like the I bought a Logitech G Cloud, and that is where I play my Xbox games. So the Game Pass games will be always be played on the Logitech G Cloud because I think it's a very bright screen, 1080, battery life's amazing. I can switch between other services like Boostroid, GeForce Now, Luna, and I feel like I'm just getting a great experience, but then it's not too, too bad. Rock's in. Hey, Rock. ER Gaming says, I miss Stadia and was looking forward to the Windows ports. That's it. Anything Stadia related, I would have done backflips in CES. I know I was a big, huge um, Chromecast Ultra user, so I didn't really need it, but I just hate the idea using more HDMI plugs and using more power sockets. So anything that natively comes to a TV and a piece of technology, I just love the idea. Because in the gaming space now, and in the world that we live in, about eco saving and the environment stuff, I just want it all in one device, a friendly, less noise, less heat, less power, and just have it all integrated in one display. Yeah, I mean, do you know what, Rock? I was sitting there going, it's automated. I could have been doing anything. I could have been brushing me hair or something like that. And I heard the Rock Players music, and I was like, oh, I was like, is is Bjorn doing his show? I was like, oh. I mean, it was good because Miss Phoenix and Case Ball said hi, and I knew what was going on, so I was like, yep. I just thought it was going to go straight into the feed, but it was all fun and giggles. We all know that we've all done shows with a bit of technical problems. So I just started speaking just about random stuff. So I mean, I'm going off handhelds. Do you think we are going to get a lot of mobile support in the cloud space, or just any type of services where it's going to push against the idea of needing a handheld? So like the new Samsung or Apple is going to produce something that goes, don't buy these handhelds to do this. Stick to mobile gaming and actually just attach an additional controller onto it. And that's the way we want you to play. I agree. The game advocate. I agree. Handheld is the way forward, and I like the idea of having the Valve system the best. I hope actually Microsoft actually bring out their own device. But then part of me goes, well, why should Microsoft waste all that R&D funding? They should just be a partnership to bring their service to and let other manufacturers have the costs. And that's why I think if anyone that works with Nintendo has definitely got my purchase. Miss Phoenix says, I'm not playing cloud. Never have although when I'm looking for more games to play, we'll check them out. Why don't you like the idea of cloud? Have you actually ever tested a cloud service? To me, I just wish a lot of people tested their free subscriptions, especially with Stadia. And well, Stadia's gone, but at the time it was, especially GeForce now, and just test it. And if your infrastructure, your internet doesn't work or your devices don't work, then yeah, move on. It'll evolve in time. But I do actually feel that cloud is a adaptable rate. Adoptable rate, should I say. Sanchez says, I'm still rocking my LG B9 from 2019. Looks great, especially HDR. Yeah, I can totally agree. Totally agree because I feel like that there's only been incremental steps in displays, just a higher refresh rate. And sometimes with these higher refresh rates, a lot of GPUs or consoles are not utilizing the full refresh rate or the full HDR. So yeah, if it works for you, then there's no need to run out. I'm just that person where I'm like a magpie. I see shiny objects. So when I'm on CES, I go, oh, I can hear, I can hear. Here he is. He's licking the background. Why is showing screen?
I'm not here.
Do you know what, mate? I was sitting there actually thinking about. I can actually hear breathing. Do you know what, mate? I was sitting there actually thinking about. I can actually hear breathing. You say technical issues.
Well, this is very embarrassing. Hang on a second. Let me turn the telly off.
He's in his pajamas.
I've lost you.
No, I'm actually still here. See that this is how great Rock is. He's such a great person for technical support or advice. Every time I want to pick his brain with something, he's always so great to actually just do this to this. So he's. Have I been talking to myself? I've just been joining. I'll just carry on like nothing happens. Just pretend Rock wasn't there. Let's have a look. Biggest issue for cloud, well, is the internet is still not there. Yeah, and I can actually see that, but it's getting better all the time. They're actually lowering the bandwidth requirements to actually play these cloud games, especially when it comes to 720, 1080 games, which is always good as long as it's going forward. But to me, my problem with a lot of cloud, and this is the problem with Stadia and GeForce now, it just never had my games. It had a set full of games, but it wasn't. I never had a lot of games that I actually wanted. So we're actually seeing that there's actually a lot of love for LG here, which is great because I'm a bigger LG supporter as well. So Caseball says, Hoults, my C3 display games absolutely amazing. If the game is supported by GFN, then I'll play it on the 4080 Ti every time. Do you ever see when I actually turn my GeForce now, because I love the native app on the web OS, and every time I play it, the games, I feel it just looks saturated. And because I know what it looks like on that GPU or on a PC with HDR and all that, part of me goes, come on, I just need that little bit of update, to push it. And I don't know who enables that. Is it GeForce Now that enables it, or is it the developer that enables the HDR? Because I know when I go on GeForce Now, it says reflex mode, DLSSR, and then HDR all ticked. But sometimes some games, what I play, don't actually have it. That's it. Miss Phoenix says, let's have a look. I've just lost me chat. Just 2 seconds. I don't know if it's because Rock's in chat. Rock is out or not. I'll scroll back up. Just give me seconds. Twister says, I gave Stadia out to a friend and many of my customers, 99% of them hadn't even heard of a Stadia. Do you want to hear something funny, Twisted Barber, right? I went to my friend's house, which is round the corner, literally 2 minute walk, and he had same sort of layout as me. I walked in, plug the controller, linked the controller to his Chromecast Ultra, and I paused Assassin's Creed Odyssey in my house and walked around to it in 2 minutes. When I went round to him, I showed him what it looks like. The graphics in HDR was so perfect. The latency was great. I just said to him that it just resumed from where my game was playing in my house, and he loved the idea of it. And he went, "I know, but my library's all on Steam." He just couldn't detach from the infrastructure or that he was so used to. So he never wanted to try Stadia because all his friends were on Steam. And I said to him, "Come on, buddy, you speak on Discord and stuff like that. There's plenty of ways to speak and interact with your friends. You don't have to always be in that ecosystem of Steam." And he went, "No, I just can't evolve." And he had at that time GTX 980, which was years old, and he still, he still grinds that to the grave instead of trying Stadia or GeForce Now, even though he knew it worked. I I I I just don't feel bad for him. I just thought that was like sort of like fanboying. You've seen something that you could try for free or you could adapt, and you just chose to stick in your ecosystem, which is great. I applaud him for that. But if he actually said, I would agree with him if he actually said, "No, a lot of my games are not on Stadia, or a lot of games I play are not on GeForce Now because they're more PC centric." I'll totally agree with his approach, but he was just focusing that he didn't want to move into a different ecosystem. And that's why I like it to be native on a TV or a display. Because once you see it, you don't feel like you have to run out or do anything. You just need to set up. And as long as you got the QR code and dive straight in, it's so easy just to set these services up these days, especially on the free tier. And I think as long as you just market it, because when I open my TV these days, I get like a little notification that says claim 3 months GeForce Now or claim Apple TV, and I just click it, QR code it, and I'm straight into it. So I feel like as long as the marketing's there and the advertisement on the TV or display, I think more people will be jumping into these cloud services. But I have no problem these days if people are going to stick to their handhelds, their PCs, or their consoles. Because whatever makes you happy to enjoy gaming does me. I was just coming from a gamer that I was getting a little bit older. My friends were getting older. They had kids. They were getting married and stuff like that. And I just wanted a cheaper cost of entry into the gaming space. So that's why I really like cloud. I mean, it's actually, yeah, and that's it. Phoenix, that Miss Phoenix, that's all you need. As long as you can enjoy the idea behind it and see potentially this could be the future for a lot of gamers. That's all you can say. Be positive, and I know my younger family members, they loved it. They loved cloud because it was on their iPads. But since since they've been playing Nintendo or the Steam Deck and stuff like that, that they definitely went more handheld focus. And I feel like that's because they're playing their Fortnite and Roblox, Minecraft on it. So I feel a lot of these services took too long to actually integrate these younger gamers' preferences. So that's why I feel like the only one that can actually bring such amazing thing to gaming now going forward in the cloud space is Nintendo. Just seeing a Nintendo IPs running natively and then actually having cloud on GeForce Now would be amazing. All Nintendo would have to do is just have a proper Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi 6E, 7. That's, I can't see them being that much costly if they're selling millions of devices. So Sanchez says, "Did you see that YouTube added mobile games, Hoults? What are your thoughts?" I love the idea of mobile gaming. I've seen the YouTube. It's available on my Logitech G Cloud, and I think that's amazing that it'll play it. And I like the idea where I can also go to Netflix, click on Netflix games, and I can sort of install playing certain games there as well. I like it. But I think I only like it because it's on the Logitech G Cloud. I would never sit there on YouTube. I would never roll up YouTube now on my PC and play a cloud or mobile game. I think that what sells it for me is sticking to that mobile form factor, or that the idea of a form factor like Steam Deck. So when I was playing Oxenfree 2 from Netflix, I have to have it in that form factor, and I'm enjoying it at that form factor resolution. I don't need to play it on the big TV. Stadia was literally a proof of concept. And we all heard it was a proof of concept and it was going to evolve. I can't remember the term now they were using, and we're seeing it in more devices. I just don't know. I could be excited now if Google dropped another cloud services now. I would wait for a lot of people's feedback before I jump in, because I know my infrastructure will run cloud gaming, and I like the idea of cloud. I just definitely need to see that library first. And the problem that I'm seeing with cloud services, and especially subscriptions these days, is yes, they can add games, but they can also take them away. And sometimes that's what scares me, that I can't finish a game fast enough before they remove it. And people might say, "Oh, you got 6 to 12 months." And sometimes I'm like, the games I'm playing is like 100 hours, or is the game that I want to stay there for like 4 years, say a racing game until the next racing game comes out, but they can remove it. And that's what worries me. Rock just said, "There I was sneaking in like like a hippo, a bull in the china shop." I in my headphones, it actually said, I don't know if actually people heard it on stream. It actually said, "Rock has entered," and I was like, "Oh, that's nice. Rock's gonna come in and say hi, and christen the show and say it's." And there he was with his telly on and his fluffies on, and he's like, uh, you know, we've always had hiccups starting. I think that adds to the humor. Miss Phoenix says, "Ha ha, you'll never get a job as a ninja Rock." Rock's doing like a Metal Gear Solid, you know what I mean? He's sneaking in when he gets caught. He's just put the cardboard box over his head. You know what I mean? Like, Nani, drop the box. But it was, adds a bit. Adds a bit. And I think we all agree that we all want that mobile form factor in these mobile games. I wonder if they're going to keep the idea of using the word mobile, when these days, to me, I look at my mobile as a PC, especially my Samsung, is because it's got the deck mode, and you can actually just connect HDMI cable or wireless. You can go into wireless deck, and you can just have a full mini PC experience, and it can play the services now. So I'm going to wonder if these mobile companies are going to use the word mobile going forward, or they're actually going to use the idea mobile PC cloud unit. I don't know. Are they going to extend it or keep it simple? There's a new intro and outro. Yeah, because the one that you heard on the intro and the outro, it was the rock players, and I know I've heard that so many times, and I was like, oh, good tune. Caseball said, to be honest, the majority of cloud streamers would not be here without Stadia. I think what it was a lot of them gamers were older, definitely with a lot of points of reference in gaming, from PC to PlayStation to the first Xbox, Nintendo. They've all had a history of gaming, and I think with life, it's just thrown us off. And then when we heard the idea of cloud gaming, we were still tech enthusiasts. We still consumed our stuff on mobile phone and tablets and stuff like that. So when we heard the likes of cloud gaming coming in, especially from Stadia, we all went, we can get behind this. And I felt that's why when we actually all started playing together and interacting together, we all had a common interest, and we all had a common sort of upbringing in gaming, where we felt like the price of games and the price of entry to these devices and the sort of exclusives on these devices were getting harder and harder for us. So I think we wanted to sort of unify things just in one place, and that's why we got behind Stadia. And I think you can all agree. Rock just saying laugh my ass off. Rock absolutely agree. You can tell that Cloud is taking. See, do you feel like the next time we're going to hear Cloud do a big push is before the next console generation, or do you think they are going to use it right now this year? I mean, to me, if I was a cloud, I've just said this before, if I was a cloud subscription or I was a cloud service, I would definitely be working with Nintendo. Absolutely be working with Nintendo and the AMD chipsets. I'd be just sitting there saying, this is the way we're going forward. And MetaQuest. Sanchez just said, I'm using my Stadia controller on my Quest 3 for xCloud. It's still not there yet. Had some lag, to be honest, but works well. Now, I wonder if that is. So, what happens was you're using the Bluetooth mode now. I think, Sanchez, you just actually upgraded it from the Wi Fi. So, you moved all the power from the Wi Fi settings chip to the Bluetooth. So, I wonder if it's a Bluetooth standard issue on the Stadia controller or it's a Quest 3 Bluetooth problem. Because you just said it works on the ROG Ally. So it's making me, where is the inconsistency in this connection between the Stadia controller to the device you're using? To me, I've got loads of Stadia. I've got 6 Stadia controllers walking around, but I still haven't upgraded the Bluetooth. But the idea was to update them and then just put them next to each display, so I know they're just sitting there. Use a USB cable to USB-C and just keep them there because I've got them. I don't want to recycle them, and I don't want to break them, and I don't want to sell them because they're a working controller, and controllers these days aren't cheap. From a Joy-Con to a DualSense to an Elite controller, they're not cheap. So I like the idea that I got the money and I got refunded, and they're just there in my house. And what I like about the Stadia controller, it's got no bells and whistles. It's just a simple controller, nice feel, and yeah, I felt it done great. So it's the xCloud in the Quest 3. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that. Then yeah, that makes totally sense. So there's no compatible. It's just actually seeing. I mean, probably Xbox want you to use their Xbox controllers for their native support. I mean, that's why I love the idea of Quest 3 and why I mentioned in CES that I wanted GFN to announce a VR support because the Quest 3 has been making waves with the Steam library having applications to run your whole Steam library in VR, which is very impressive. And I thought to myself, if even you just partnership with GFN and just say, heck, here we go, you're actually going to use your Quest 3 for GFN VR, I think that would be an amazing step. I can totally get behind that. Because, as you know, the Quest 3 ain't tethered. It ain't like a PlayStation VR 2. You're not tethered. So just moving around the house and just having this stream and I just center point it anytime I want. And I can just move around and go, okay, I want to sit down, I want to move, I want to play a game, depending on the games. I think it's so amazing. Even if I went to my friends and said, listen, I've got GFN loaded on my Quest 3, I've got a set of library that support VR games. Take the headset round to my friends. I think that's where the future is. I don't know. Does any use like sharing your VR headset with people? Let me actually scroll down. Sometimes the chat loads in, and sometimes it doesn't, and I'm like, ugh. So Rock Show, Rock, why would you say it's the worst? In what? Features, library, quality? I can definitely see it being the worst in quality because, as I mentioned before about these native apps on displays, I think it looks too saturated to me. And I think that's because they haven't got HDR set on. So the illuminance of the blacks and whites, the vividness doesn't make it nice. So that's why I think it looks grayscale. I don't think it looks total grayscale, but I do think it does look washed out. But it runs smooth. Runs smooth. I just feel like the more the resolution bumps going, it's actually not actually making me go, wow. Definitely run out and play Forza Motorsport on xCloud. Phoenix says, Sanchez, do you know, is it worth getting the Quest 3 over the 2? Mr. Airwells usually see him floating around in a lot of communities. He actually really loves the Quest 3. He likes the extra power, the extra lightweight form factor of it. But he said to me, he can get away with the Quest 2. You don't really need to jump on just yet. So if a few kilograms make a difference, I would love a Quest 3. I really would. But see, part of me would be like, well, let's just tether it to my PC and just let that run the power. So Sanchez says GFM will work great on the Quest, but don't have the service. I mean, I was focusing more on the idea of bringing a GFN VR titles to the service, and then running it that way and see what it looks like. So instead of emulating VR, it just does a VR. So Sanchez is just helping Phoenix. Says Quest 3 looks better visually and has color pass through. And 2 is good for entry. I mean, that's all that matters, isn't it? Entry of costs. To me, I would love to see, and that's why I like CS, because proof of concept. I just like the idea of them showing what £5,000, for example, that's like £5,000. So go £3,500, same as a PC, and say this is what you can get for VR. This is a prototype, but it won't work in the market and space. Gamers, only a handful of gamers will buy it, but this at the moment is where VR is at the high price of entry. And just be honest. And I know technology evolves every year. But just say this is what we are. This is what we can do. People put the money in mouth with us, and if you can get behind us, we'll try and bring these cost factors down until it's ready for you. I think that's what I would love to see in CS. And that's what I like about the idea of the Apple Pro Vision. 3.5 is a bit too expensive. I know a lot of content creators are going to run out there and buy it. A lot of developers are going to run out and buy it. I know this concept will work in the future. I know Apple is going to bring it more cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper each every few years, integration of it. But at the moment, I can appreciate it, but it won't be for me. But I'm happy that it exists. Yeah, Caseball, VR is very, very niche. And I think because we've got the market of the consoles and we've got cloud and stuff like that, but I can see it evolving very quickly. Very quickly. But it's got to be a price of entry. I think the Quest 3 is reasonable priced, but if you really want to get it to the masses, you need to bring it right down. Right down. To the point where you are offering a VR headset over people actually buying a television. So if you can actually get people to say, okay, you're a single household person, or you've got people who need a display, just get them a Quest 3 for £300, £400 dollars. It's like getting a TV. It'll actually grow really fast. I mean, Sanchez, the problem with the Quest Pro, I don't think it actually kicked off. And I think the idea, I understand, I loved the concept of drawing with it and rendering with it and stuff like that. But I just don't think it kicked off fast enough in the pro space. I think what works well with Quest is that they keep it to the casual. I won't say casual gamer, but the casuals, not the professionals. Keep it with social interactions with like chat VR, big screen, and loads of library of games, backwards compatible. Miss Phoenix says, I'll give the Quest 2 a go at 240. PlayStation VR is so much money for my liking. I mean, the whole price of a PlayStation VR 2 is the same price of a PlayStation 5. I think that's horrible. I mean, I stupidly went out and bought it, didn't I? I was like, oh, yeah, well, I want to play Gran Turismo 7 and stuff like that. But to me, I'm like, it literally wasn't the price of a console. How can an accessory be the same price of a console? They should have just brought the Quest 3 PSVR. That was like the Quest 3 and just called it a PlayStation VR device and just didn't tether it to the console and then optimize the game at a lower resolution. I love the idea. I mean, I love the PlayStation rendering all the stuff and send it to the VR headset, but that's like me saying, well, I'll have a PC and let the Quest just let the PC render it. To me, I think just having a wireless headset and then calling a PlayStation VR 2 would have been better and made more sense than actually having an accessory that needs the PlayStation 5. And that's my big problem with the PlayStation Portal. It's an accessory controller with a screen that you need the PlayStation 5. And I'm like to myself, why would I want that? If that was a PlayStation Vita 2, I would have done backflips. But because it's attached to the PlayStation, to me, it's like I don't need these accessories at these costs anymore. Really is. Lovely device. Well, I thought if you asked me what was my worst spend in 2023, it was definitely the PlayStation VR 2. It is great. It's a great experience. But when you sit there and go, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, GTA 7, Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4, you get these experiences and you're in awe of them, but then you go, but then what? And then for 9 months, I'm sitting there going, PlayStation, come on, hurry up, we need more. And I understand they've got their own research and development. They've got their own, how they test games and release games. But to me, I'm like, hurry up and release it because it's just sitting there collecting dust. I've enjoyed these experiences, but I want more. And I feel that's what the Quest does better. It's just constantly adding these games from different developers. And then the problem with developers is if they keep on seeing crap PlayStation VR 2 sales, they're not going to bring their game to it. And that is the problem. What happened with Stadia? So Sony needs to put money, but are they going to put the money behind the device? I mean, I only got up. I enjoyed the PlayStation VR 1, but it was the same experience. And a friend of mine, he actually said, "Oh yeah, you need to play PlayStation VR 2." And I was like, I was dragging my feet. Yeah, 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 yeah. I said, if you name 5, 6 games that I can get, I'll justify it. I got it, then he never got one, and I was like, you bugger. And I feel like we were just running on hype, and I think I just compulsively spent. And now when I look back at the 9 months, I can say it was still good, but I could definitely sat on my hands and kept that money in the bank. Sanchez, I mean, do you think like eye tracking? I love games with eye tracking, but do you think it justified that price of entry? That's why I'm curious about the Vision Pro, the Apple Vision Pro. It's 3.5, and it's got all bells and whistles, but how much of them bells and whistles are going to be fully integrated into games? I mean, do people sit there and go, I definitely need to play VR experiences with eye tracking? It helps, but I still know a lot of people that are just so happy playing their flight simulators and car simulators and stuff like that, where it doesn't rely on eye tracking. I was actually going to read that, and it actually says, Silly Pawns Gaming actually said, face green, smiling, hands pink, waving. And I was like, he just typed in, I just realized it was emojis that, that haven't came through. It's like, well, what a set of words to actually put in. Hope you're great, man. And this is where going back onto CS, I actually want to see a play. I want to see more headsets, and I want to see more um, handhelds, but only as prototypes, just to show me where the future of the industry is going, where these sort of professionals or entrepreneurs are saying, this is where we believe it's going to go forward. At the moment, I am happy with the Steam Deck. I don't want another handheld for a few more years. I'm happy with the concept of PlayStation VR 2 being there as an accessory. I'm happy with the Quest 3 being the leading headset going forward. So I don't need anything else. But if it's just giving a little nudge to where the industry is evolving to, by all means, they've got the money. And this is what the whole uh, thing's about. The expedition, the expo. It is showing where the industry is going. I'm not joking. They really thinking about that. Look it up. Was it the talk, the tongue tracking? Hoults, they are actually adding tongue tracking. You can't definitely say that's actually utilized in games, can you? I mean, I understand. Well, yeah, we're all adult gamers and stuff like that. We all understand what the idea of VR is used for, especially in a lot of industries, like the porn industry and stuff like that. And VR chat and stuff like that. But me personally, as a gamer, you would never see me stick my tongue out. What am I going to do? Lick a window? You know what I mean? To me, it's like, oh, bye, Case Ball. Thanks for tuning in. And that's what's so great about you. Thanks for tuning in, staying up late. It is actually late for all of us, for us. But we had to pick a time. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. But thanks for staying in, even past the technical issues, and seeing Ninja Rock. That's what we should do. Let's all get on the Discord and do members. Hippo Ninja Rock. He was like the hippo out of Fantasia. Rousters here. Good evening. Just got back from driving home from work. Yeah, well, it's great to actually see you and you've actually tuned in. We were just actually talking about CES and what we like to see, VR, handheld, cloud. If people in chat was actually tech users to be interested in CS. To me, I think it's a great expo to actually have at the start of the year because it'll show us what we're going to have in the next 12 months. Don't need it now, but still. Miss Phoenix says, with their pink tutu. Well, yeah, exactly. So, and yeah, I mean, that was my idea, seeing where they're going. I mean, to me, over tongue tracking, and I can't believe I'm saying tongue tracking, but to me, I'd rather have other things in the VR space. Like, I'd rather have more tactical feedback, like gloves, vest, shoe, like a haptic feedback mat. I'd love to stand on a mat and feel like I'm getting feedback from gravel, water, or something like that. I would love that idea, especially um, something that's lightweight. It's not too much. I mean, I don't want to sit there and play a racing game, hit a wall, and got trauma or get shot in the chest. I'm like, that really bruised me. I just need something that really immerses me more in the VR space. Because sometimes I'm playing a racing game, for example, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm looking around the car, which I shouldn't be doing because you keep your eyes on the road. And to me, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. It looks visually. And then I feel to myself, this is missing the seat. I mean, I've got a steering wheel and force feedback on the steering wheel on the seat, the pedals. But to me, I'm like, I'm not getting like that 3D audio, like the winds. I'm not getting the feeling of the wind. I'm not getting anything else that's sort of rumbling to make me feel like I'm in a car when I'm doing hard turns and stuff like that. So I feel like They should actually add more accessories to make it more engaging than tongue tracking. But hey, they have to start somewhere. The router said, "I like CS and tech. Is there anything else that is anything else that you would like to see personally?" I mean, to me, I love the idea of some things that look gimmicky, but it could be the future. I love all that. Rouse said, "I even listen to Nerd Nest because they cover handhelds a lot and don't even have one. Just like hearing about the tech." Yeah, that is I'm totally the same. There's a lot of things that I wanna stay up to date now, and I love tuning in to a lot of things just on the concept where they can sell me on one, because the idea of handhelds going forward for us, that we know that we can always jump on board. Is it the right time for us now? Nope. But we wanna keep our hobbies alive in tech. And that's why when I speak about technology, I'm not gonna get the Vision Pro. It's too much. There's some TVs that are well too, and displays that are well too much, but I just like following it to see where the trends are going to be set, or how the technology is evolving over time. You know, Miss Phoenix Hoults wants to give him whiplash, and I wouldn't say whiplash where I'm sitting walking around with a neck brace. You know what I mean? Something like that. I just want something that adds extra dimension to it. So, like, if I had like shoulder braces, or like a shoulder a vest that will give me some forward and back feedback. So if I'm getting shot or stuff like that, a rumble. So if I was on a spaceship and it's ready to take off, I'd rather have stuff like that. A feedback seat, feedback mat, feedback shoes. I'd rather all that first. I really want those AR sunglasses to play games in my own private. I've got the X-Real Air behind me, and I use them for my Steam Deck at times. I mean, to me, it's a great experience. You know, having that 300-inch display to watch stuff and do stuff, I think it's really great. And they brought out an adapter to actually work with a lot of devices that use HDMI now. So you can put it on your consoles and stuff like that. So I feel as long as you stay in it in one place, I think they're really great. I've shown to a lot of people, but once again, the price is a bit risky to jump right in if it's not for you. But I definitely use it for my handhelds, and I feel like they're stylish enough to get away with it. I think a lot of AR glasses, they look too sci-fi and tech that you would never take them out, would you? Where me, I put my prescription in them, and they sort of look like sunglasses. That'll be interesting to see how it sort of evolves. Sandra says, "I think the Apple Vision Pro will bring more people to VR." Yeah, because what Apple is I wouldn't say Apple are innovative. I think they copy a lot of things first, but what Apple do is prove it's a gold standard. If Apple do it, you know it is the future. You can sit back and see people laugh about the iPod. It was revolutionary. People can laugh and go, "Why would I want an iPod with a screen, which was a mobile phone, iPhone?" And what it was doing, it was merging technology together. Then it came with the iPad and stuff like that. It was merging stuff together, bringing it more form factor. So now I think what Apple are going to do is, this is the standard going forward. You can just have this headset on charge or right next to you, and we'll put it on your head, and we'll show you your socials. We'll show you YouTube. We'll show you a different way to immerse yourself in how you're watching streaming content, or AR or VR content. And once Apple brings that cost down to the masses, they are going to be a leading factor in it straight away. Yes, Rouse, there. I've been wanting the AR glasses. Yeah, they are a good little thing. Keep them lightweight, keep them black, keep them built-in speakers. They are amazing. People in chat speaking to each other. No, I'm not saying paralyzed by VR. Of course, that's a very. I know a lot of people complained in the past about like rumble and sort of playing with their controllers and sort of rotating the thumbsticks against the hand and it's caused medical issues and stuff like that. I'm just trying to say like a sensation that makes you feel more immersed. Like I said, I don't want to be in pain. I just want to feel more feedback. If they can't do it and it's too costly, then I'll happy just stay in my VR space and just look around and be immersive visually and audible and or yeah. Yeah, Miss Phoenix said, "What happened to Google Glass?" I think once again it's in the Google graveyard. I think they were ahead of the time, but I just think there wasn't a market for it at that time. It would have been too costly for them to actually have all this technology. Rock said, had to go and pick up my daughter from an aborted night out. Apparently, no clubs were open. Bonus for me. I can go to bed now. Oh, that's sweet. You know, the good old dad staying up. Oh, but hey, if she had VR, she could go into a nightclub in VR. You know, sit there and party in the house. That's the real experience. I was on holiday the other day. Well, the other day back in late October, and I actually seen silent discos. Never heard anything in my life. So what you do is you actually get a pair of headphones and you tune into a frequency that the place is playing, and you'll get different types of music playing. So there was a lot of people just sitting there dancing on a dance floor. There was a head moshing, like, and there's a woman dancing to like I don't know, silent whisper, never gonna dance again. And a lot of these people were just dancing on a dance floor with these headphones, and I've never seen it before. And I thought to myself, wow, wonder if we can have that in the VR experience, and that could be our. Yeah, Sanchez says they want the. No, I was just trying to say that there's more stuff to have than tongue tracking. Come on, Sanchez, are you going to stick his tongue out to track? What? It still makes me laugh. Just the idea of walking around. Just, "Ugh." You know, before one walks in the frigging house and there you're out with VR headset, your tongue out, dancing to silent disco. I think it would look crazy. So Rouster said, yes, Miss Phoenix, it freaks a lot of people out. Didn't have the streaming stuff like today, just for taking pictures, videos, stuff like that. And I think that's the whole integration, isn't it? Because what Apple said with the provision is that they believe that this technology, you'll be confident enough to go outside and start recording and living your life. I mean, and that's so futuristic. It's like cyberpunk. Everyone walking around with like different types of headsets with different accessories, and it's just acceptable. Is it cyberpunk or steampunk fashion? Can't remember. I'd say cyberpunk because it. Doo-doo-doo. And that's the thing they're doing it. So instead of people looking at smartwatches, they can just put this kind of headset on. It's going to get smaller, more like a pair of glasses, and then you've got your health, your tracking, your sort of interaction with people, AR things going in front of you. I think it'd be amazing. I mean, imagine just sitting there with your AR glasses and go, "Show me the way to my local shop," and it just showed me like a waypoint. I think that'll be cool. Hey, Apple, can you actually put filters in life so it was a grey day? It actually simulates some actually light or something like that. Can you make people look happy? That'll be a good one. You know what I mean? It'll be look like an acid trip or something. But it could work. There's definitely a market for it in the future. I wouldn't be walking around with AR or VR headsets walking around the street. I think it'd be just too dangerous. Anyone that was walking around with 3.5 grand worth of technology, It's just screaming for it to get to took off them. So I can understand where Apple's coming from, saying it will be the future when it all comes cost effective, but definitely. Rock says, I've mentioned that I use Perspect AI all the time. Just saw that they have raised 18 million in investments and have 10 million users so far. That's actually quite an experience, that isn't it? Really, AI. I mean, you watch when you sit there and you watch CS. That's going to be the key word of everything. AI. It's that time where if you watched it on YouTube and stuff like that, and you're behind the scenes. Well, I won't say behind the scenes because a lot of us are not behind the scenes. We're not in the industry of AI. Deep learners, more professionals there, but it's coming mainstream so fast that you can actually see it being an exposition of CS, and to the masses, they're going to say, "Well, why would I want that?" Then we're going to see it and go, "Okay, yes, here it is." Do you know what, Miss Phoenix? Speaking of Blade Runner, the only thing I ever wanted from Blade Runner, right, was one of them LED umbrellas. And when he walked around, and then that's all I ever wanted. Walking around with the LED umbrella. Maybe these days I can actually have voice assistance or something. That'll be perfect. I mean, where I'm from, people don't really use umbrellas. Yeah, I use an umbrella, but a lot of people don't actually use umbrellas. But I would definitely get behind a Blade Runner umbrella. And I love the idea of cyberpunk, steampunk fashion. So anything that can integrate technology in, I'll be definitely down in the future. Definitely down in the future. And sometimes that means like seeing it at CES could prove that, look, here's a proof of concept. You won't see it for 10 years. That's the only thing that excites me about it. So look, how about replacing eyeballs with upgraded AI units? Well, that is one concept that I've seen. I know Phoenix just actually said about Ghost in the Shell, amazing anime. That's what I would want. I would love the idea of just having implants for my eyes. I'll be perfect. I mean, I'll have all more for medical reasons, but I'll definitely walk around with stuff like that. Or like something like our Star Trek, where he has the visor across his eyes and he can see or stimulate visual interpretations or something like that. I'll get behind all that. But then the problem is it becomes ethically a problem, does it? Would it be viable security wise to walk around with eyeballs that could, or tech that could actually capture images without people's um, I mean, you could probably do what drones say, saying for the safety of other people, this is a restricted area. You won't be able to use your glasses, tech, eyeballs. But imagine you wear your eyeballs and you can't walk. You're walking around going, I can't bloody see. Or getting hacked. But I love all that concept. I love all that concept of the ethics of technology. I mean, that's what they were worried about with the Apple Pro Vision, was the people of having the security, because they were saying that this device should just be used for one person. They're gonna have a guest mode, but they were worried in case someone could pick up your device. I know it's gonna use retina DNA and stuff like that to access it, but they're trying to say, what happens if people get through it and then you've got access to a system that's got all your biometrics and your stuff. So I understand the risk, but Miss Phoenix says, I have a giant golf brolly. It's a good weapon too. I have a golf brolly. The bigger the better to me. I always say, but you should hear the comments when I walk around my area. They've got people that walk around in sneakers and trainers, or they want around in sports gear. It's raining, torrential, and I'm the weirdo walking around with an umbrella. I thought to myself, that's hilarious. That it's not a gentleman umbrella, but when we come on to putting cyber and cyberpunk Blade Runner, I just like the way that I had the LED lights, so I could have like a transparent umbrella, and I could walk around, and everyone was walking around with like, because in my area, the sort of dimming the street lamps down, So having a LED technology and other stuff inside umbrella would be perfect. So imagine having a eSIM in your umbrella, and the way you hold your umbrella, it's got a speaker and a speaker in. So you could sit there and say, "Hey Siri, can you call rock?" And the umbrella go, "Okay, calling rock," but it'll keep it at a. It's not too noise polluting to other people. And I've got the umbrella walking in the rain. It's got an eSIM, and I'm chatting to my friends just walking in the rain instead of actually taking out that freaking phone in the rain and getting it wet. I think integrating technology into umbrella would be perfect. I mean, Rock's already a ninja, so he's probably got all these tools. His umbrellas have probably got like throwing darts and stuff like that in his umbrella. Have you seen it, Phoenix? Have you seen it, Sanchez? She was bringing points to Ghost in the Shell, which that what happens. They actually have cybernetic implants as eyeballs. High hippo. He's a high hippo. Hello, Geek the Sneak. Hope you're doing all great. We're just actually just talking about CS and the future of VR, AR, how we would like to see it integrated in society and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm doing great. Hope you're all doing great as well. Yeah, it's what it is it's all a bit of fun and games. All a bit of fun and games. What this started because Sanchez mentioned tongue tracking, and that was it. It just got flew off from there. So I'm blaming San. You need to come with this umbrella Hoults. Yeah, yeah, that'll be perfect. That Miss Phoenix, I'll be sitting there, with my umbrella, with the phone in the LED, and I'll be like, "I'm calling in the rain, yes, calling in the rain, not complaining. I'm dry." I could do that. I could be Gene Kelly skipping down the road. I'm not going to get a copyright strike for that. It didn't sound nothing like it, but I can definitely do that. See me in CS next year. Put a little fold down LED screen at the front so I can actually have cloud gaming. So you imagine a big golf umbrella, little that'd be perfect. Little LED screen, sort of water resistance fabric that just gives me. So when I have a little quick glance, I can watch this stream or anything else. You guys in, and I can just sit there walking around at night with the LED light. Perfect. Charge it. No other streamer would dare to hang a bag of old shoes up as background. Can you actually see my shoes at the? That's not shoes at the background. That's my PlayStation VR and controllers. I was actually thinking to myself, my shoes are up there above the door. I've got like a shelf with all my boots, waterproof boots, my Doc Martens, brogues and stuff like that. And I was like, you can't see that on stream. Don't tell me that. I was actually going to pull out the green screen today and do like a lovely effect, but I actually just thought to myself, nah, no, let's just keep it common. Let's keep it common. You got me there. Nova Stream would dare to hang a bag of old shoes up. Groundbreaking. Oh, you're talking about this bag here? That no, you can't actually see that. I'm actually thinking to myself, which bag now? Ah, so it was Phoenix and Rock. Ah, I can see. She has eyes. See, Miss Phoenix, so I'll buy a neon umbrella. That's what I'm saying. It can go all colours. Have RBG walking around the street. Yeah, I mean, see, what I'll have rocking with my umbrella, of course, I will just buy an attachment that you could sort of screw onto the umbrella, and it has like two floating plates. So when I hold the umbrella, there's me fish and there's me chips. So when I'm walking, I can just be like, see, it's so innovative, the idea of having it. And just hopefully there's no enough wind that will actually blow the fish and chips in my mouth. But I can definitely get behind that. Coming soon, CS25. The unimaginable, the unthinkable umbrella. It does everything. With your guest Hoults, dude. Just messing around. Different attachments. Different attachments. For everyone's needs. So, and I'm just catching chat. I'm just actually seeing people. Yeah, that bag. I wonder what bag you can see, because usually rock's very noticeable because I've got a mirror behind me when I do my contacts, and I used to have the light for the contacts now because I didn't want them drop them in the bathroom, so I used to have them there on my shelf. So if I dropped them, I can easily find them and stuff like that. And the first thing Rock said was, Rock went, "Oh look, Holt is on a boat. Holt is on a boat." And I just remember it stuck to me. But that bag behind me, there is that used to be my portal piano bag. And what happened was I gave my portable piano away. I think I showed it on stream before, but what happened was I'm sick and tired of all my glasses. I've got multiple pairs of glasses. So I've got glasses for streaming, glasses for going out, glasses for the gym. I'm sick and tired of putting glasses everywhere because I'm a klutz, very forgetful. I'll step and break them. So I just decided to hang a bag up by the mirror where I can find my glasses. So it's just a tote bag with glasses in. So I can understand why you said shoes. But yeah, glasses. Because behind me here, on this side, here on the desk, that's where all the handhelds, VR space, it's just all cluttered with tech. It's a mess. So I just thought to myself, keep the bag there to keep my glasses in. I should actually arrange it. I can actually arrange it, but not like these fancy streamers who have all these LED lights. You know what I mean? To me, I'm just that type of gamer or streamer that I can just pull anything from anywhere. If you want to see a medicine ball, if you want to see a medicine ball, or you want to see a pair of weights, it's just there by my feet. Uh, Technology. I'm just a person in a chair that goes. I can just pull stuff everywhere. So people go to me, oh, hold. So what's with the wires? What's with all this stuff like that? I'm like, come on. If you haven't got a mad life, LED lights. I mean, I can actually change my lights. I can actually say, I was saying this to Rock the other day. I can actually say, ask Google to change my LED lights to blue, different colors if I wanted to actually add a different level of hues, saturation, stuff like that. But I don't do it. I keep it KISS here. KISS. KISS standing for keeping it simply stupid. So if you see a bag behind me with, I don't know, glasses, it is what it is. The common streamer. Yeah, so that's it. What's this? Sanchez Gaming gifted one Rock show membership. Oh, thanks, Sanchez. Sanchez was gifted a membership by Sanchez. You won yourself a own gift. How did that one work? You redeemed a gift. I wanted someone else to get it. Oh well, it was the thought that counts. That's perfect though. Unless you've already got a subscription to the Rock Players, Rock Show. And Rock is saying, "Awesome, thanks, Sanchez. I've never seen someone gift themselves. See, so first year I've seen a streamer on having a bag, and now you've never seen a membership gifted themselves. It's a very unique stream. It's bizarre, and it's part of the it's part of the humor, isn't it? Part of the humor. Miss Phoenix says self care is important. San says you keep gifting yourself to it. Oh, it's the thought. No, we all seen it. We all seen the Sanchez that it actually came up saying you gifted the membership. It did come up. It says Sanchez gifted the membership, and I think I don't know what's called it, the algorithm of YouTube or something like that. It's just selected people that are watching, and thanks for watching. And I think it just went eeny meeny miny mo. I don't know if you've got two accounts or it's just I've just never seen that before. Which is Hoults, Rock's right, but it's the idea. It was just weird actually seeing it. So we got a few minutes before our round off because Purple Haze is streaming at 1 a.m. I think she is. So if people can actually, we all know Purple Haze is. So if you can say hi if she's streaming, or find a streamer that we all know and say hi to them. But for me, it's getting a bit late now, so I'm just going to round off. I think I'm going to sit off with the handheld and finish a little bit of Persona. I know I've mentioned Persona 5 Royale the last 3 streams, but I'm still grinding through it. I'm still getting ready for my first game of the year, which will be Tekken 8. I don't know. I know I mentioned at the start of the stream that I'm looking forward to the idea of the Star Trek timekeepers. Not Star Trek, Stargate timekeepers. So I might actually jump on that next week or when it's out. But for me, I'm actually going to close down with my night with maybe a little bit of gaming on the Steam Deck. So how about yourself, guys? Are you all going to follow to a different stream? Are you going to play some games? I don't know what time it is. Where's user? I know it's late for Rock. And Rock says, I think it's because everyone in chat is a member at the moment. That is great logic. That is great logic. Rock says, I picked the Saints Row reboot on PS5 after seeing Primo playing it. Oh, yeah. It was your last day to actually claim Guardians of the Galaxy on Epic Store. And I know a lot of people are they like getting games from Epic. And over the holidays, there was some people who actually claimed Saints Row, and they're saying they're really enjoying it. So the idea is they wouldn't be interested in the game unless it came to a subscription, and that's a great approach. They've seen it. How can it get better than free? They've seen free, they're running a subscription, and they jumped on board, and now they're loving it. And it's great that now people like Primo are talking about it, and Rock's just jumped on board and played it on the PlayStation 5. So I think that's a win-win for everyone, win-win in chat, especially for us. But if you don't know about it, then definitely head over to the Epic Store and see if you can claim a free game before it goes. So Rock said he's already claimed on the PlayStation 5. I think Saints Row actually came on Stadia as well. I think that was one of the games where it came everywhere. So you can probably get it, like I just said, everywhere free now. It's a definitely game I would recommend. But to me, there's only so much stupidness I can play in an open world game. I like stupid, and I like being chaotic, but to a certain level. Rouster says Guardians of the Galaxy is free on Epic now, and it's on GFN. That's a perfect game to play. I mean, if you're waiting for Marvel Spider-Man and you want your Marvels in, and you're a big fan of maybe Phase 1, 2, or in the past, or you like Guardians of the Galaxy, then definitely pick it up. It's an amazing game. I recommend it to anyone, especially when it's free. And if you can get, I don't know, in your area, that GeForce Now, they've sort of closed down, they've hit the limitations of free subscriptions and certain tiers at the moment. So you're going to have a hard time if you want to play it on free tiers. maybe I have to wait until after CES and actually see what GeForce Now is actually doing, because they can expand maybe their locations and their service. So yeah, definitely click on the Epic free games, add it to your library, and who knows, you might be playing it in the near future anyway. So definitely check it out. Mhm. Yeah, Guardians Galaxy is, yeah, it's free. I just love the Guardians Galaxy. I, I I only know the cast because of the Marvel movies and the TV shows. But I don't know the new Guardians. I never really paid attention to the comics. So when I seen the game, I only knew it because of the franchise of the Marvel Phase One and stuff like that. And I just love Guardians Galaxy 1, 2, and 3. The always makes me laugh. Just looking to the left is Holt. Is Holt looking to the left? Is Holt working on a Christmas cake? So this will be my left. How far can you actually see on screen? Because I can see. Let's have a look. I didn't even put the. I did have the effect on, but let's have a look. How far left? No, I'm not working on a Christmas cake. A wedding cake, wouldn't that be perfect? I couldn't even. I don't even know how to make a cake in my life. I know how to make an apple pie. Couldn't make any fancy like that. But that's what, I mean, I'm worried now what you can exceed. You can see my consoles, my headphones. But as we round up, thanks guys for actually making the chat great and having a little laugh here. And I know it was all over the place, but there's not really that much news. And I just think it's a bit of a unique taste, just actually diving into random stuff that from the gaming tech uh, world, and the humour speaking about games and movies. And so Sandy says, I'm going to play 1 or 2 matches of Party Animals. It's just done fun. Yeah, you recommended that last week, Party Animals. A little bit of fun with friends is always great. Just looking to, I've said that one. Just past the second handle of the unit behind it. Second handle behind it. No. You probably just see all the clutter that I threw. Look, the whole point is on this chair there's usually just a lot of crap. So look, I can pull like a leather jacket. So if it wanted to, I don't know, be a T-bird from Greece, I can just put it on right now. If I wanted to put a bit of sunshades or AR glasses, I can just put it on. You know, be a cool rider from Greece too. Cool gamer. There's just all stuff that should be on my chair. There's no level of professionalism. You know what I mean? Usually when you see me last week, I was sitting there, I was tilted this way and had my feet on the bed. So I was just sitting there. It was great. I mean, if I was shooting from the backside, well, not the back, not from the backs, but if you were sitting from this angle behind me, you would have seen all the gaming setup, which would probably be more professional on a studio, on a studio or a studio stream. And I've got a camera where I can look this way. But it's not set up. It's not set up. It's just a microphone hanging off a wall. Sanchez, I can actually do a gaming stream. I've actually got a Elgato capture card. I've wall mounted my Steam Deck and my Nintendo Switch and my G Cloud all in one place, and it's connected to a capture card. So the capture card can actually run to the PC. So I can actually show some games, and I can actually run it off the PC. I've got a 4090, so I can definitely show some approaches. I can put a camera behind me and stream at the monitor to give you a real look of the game in that aspect ratio or resolution. I can even do it on the TV behind me. I don't know if you can actually see the TV behind me, but I can do stuff if that's what's interesting people. I just thought that people like to play games by themselves. Miss Phoenix, I am Mary Poppins. All English people have the technique. We can just pull stuff out anywhere. No jokes intended. So it's Holtsy Poppins. Holtsy Poppins. Let's go fly a kite. Let's go play a game. And that's what should be the intro and outro. Let's go play a game. Well, Sanchez Hammer, you're a gamer, Hoults. Yeah, that's a good one. Just pulling stuff, and I've got a cupboard here as well. I don't know. Maybe I could just. That's where the AI robot is, and me umbrella. So this could be like, you don't know. I could just pull anything out of it. You know what I mean? I mean, people used to sit there and say, "What's the hand behind you that's coming?" Because my brother used to pass me a drink, and sometimes on Rock Show you just see a hand come out, and people are like, "Who's that?" It's the mystery. It's the mystery person. No, I've got a Steam Deck, not a Stream Deck. A Steam Deck and a Stream Deck's two different things. I'm saying that I've got them mounted on the wall where it's all plugged up to a capture card with a HDMI matrix. It's so simple just to actually capture some footage. I can sit there and still talk to chat while I play games. Miss Phoenix said, "Don't, because that name will stick with us." Well, the amount of stuff that you've seen on stream, why not, eh? I've had a wedding cake, I've got a shoe bag, I've got yeah, curtains, stuff like that. I should actually put stuff in the background. I used to put like Nintendo figures and stuff like that in the background to make it more aesthetical, like a gamer. But I got rid of them. Here, there's these great. They're on Amazon, and I was always looking for controller holders that were specific for certain controllers. It used to cost a lot of money, and it used to really annoy me. So what I've done is I've bought like this bendable metal that you can bend it in any shape, and it can hold a keyboard, it can hold any controllers, it can hold Steam Decks and other handhelds. It literally it holds a lot of weight. And what I was going to do was I'm going to mount them into this piece of wood on the side. So then you'll just see sort of the Steam Deck and all that just sitting there. So if I wanted to, I could just pick it up, and or you could see my Stadia controllers or other controllers there, just to make it entertaining, because you seem to notice what's behind me. I mean, I've actually got one of them Elgato green screens that folds up. It's literally right behind me, but I needed to get into the door. So the idea is, I didn't put it up. But maybe next week, maybe next week we've had a little bit of a giggle, but next week I can actually try and make it more funny. Or who knows? Maybe I'll put a wedding cake behind me. You'll never know. You'd have to tune in next week to actually see what is behind me. But thanks guys for coming in. I'm going to round up just a little bit early so people can actually move on to their next streamer. And I'll hopefully see you in chat, and I'll definitely see you next week, and I'll definitely see you in the Discord. So I'll definitely be saying hi to you. And if you leave a comment in this video, I will definitely be replying back. And I have to thank Rock for setting the stream up for us. And he came up with the idea of the name. He's the hippo ninja you've seen before. Lovely guy, and we're actually going to be seeing the outro. So hopefully it's not, I don't know, chim chimney do. You don't know. I'll just end it, and we'll just roll. We'll just roll with what happens. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Definitely give a like on the video, and we've all subscribed. But if you are new to the channel, definitely give a like, subscribe, and all that household objects, household things on the channel. But I'll definitely catch you next time. Good night, good evening, good morning to all the people that are watching. And yeah,